there, good looking. Are you looking for a good old-fashioned upper body workout? Maybe leave the legs alone and maybe give the cardio a bit of a break for a workout? Well, this workout delivers. Now, in addition to the upper body, we are also going to be focusing on our shoulder mobility and stability, because those are two things that I see that starts to tank as we get older. Now listen, you need some equipment for this workout, so I want you to grab yourself some dumbbells, and if you have an assortment, then hey, anything from light all the way up to heavy would be great for this workout. Now, if you own a BOSU ball or a TRX, or maybe, heck, you own both, then get those set up as well, because I'll show you how you can implement them in a couple of the exercises. This way, you get the most use out of all your exercise equipment. All right, awesome. Lace up your runners. Let's go get warmed up. Hello there, hey, welcome. I'm PJ from fitnesswithpj.com, and hey, I help women over the age of 40 reclaim the tush of their 20s. So if that interests you, if you're over 40, click that subscribe button. Now we're gonna get right into the workout. We start off with the shoulder mobility, stability drills that I was talking to you about. They're gonna get us warmed up as well as work on our shoulder mobility and stability. So let's start down onto our stomachs. Extend the arms straight out. Now take a peek before we get into this movement. We'll lift up into a low back extension. Hold that extension while we pull the elbows in towards our rib cage. Straighten the arms in that letter V position and lower down. Okay, so these are for reps. We've got 12 reps of this exercise. So get yourself situated, chin tucks in, get that back of the neck long. Now let's lift everything up so we're balancing on the hips. Pull the elbows in towards the rib cage, straighten the arms in that letter V and lower. Great. So when we lift up, we want to lift through the spine and not necessarily through the neck. Keep the arms off the ground when we pull those elbows in, working into shoulder mobility here, as well as strength into the posture muscles. And definitely into our low backs, right? We're working extension. Now, if you find that this is too much for your low back, don't lift up the legs, just lift up the upper body. I always got workarounds, don't you worry. 4 more. As you pull those elbows down, really focus too on bringing the shoulder blades down to your back pockets. Last 2. 1 more. Release. Come into high plank. Now you have 2 options, on the knees to modify or on the toes. If you're on the toes, please have the feet apart. We want to keep those hips quiet. Now in this position, pretend you're screwing 2 jar lids. So really screw the hands into the ground to activate your lats. Not moving in the elbows, simply push the ground away and round the shoulders, round the upper back, and then pull the shoulder blades together for retraction. Let's do it again. Push the ground away, round the shoulders. Now let them drop, shoulder blades squeeze. They call this protraction, and then the shoulder blades come together, retraction. We're training the muscles related around the shoulder joint, in particular serratus anterior, just underneath the shoulder, which is responsible for a lot of stability in the shoulder joint. If you find that this is causing pain or discomfort, drop down onto the knees. And if that's still bugging you, go into a wall push-up position and do it from the wall. Last 3. We also get the core too. 2. 1 more. 1. Excellent. On your back, feet hip width apart. Lift the hips up into a bridge position, and as you do, take the right arm and reach across on an angle. Reach right up and over, working now into your T-spine. Bum down, other arm. Great. Now if you want, you can increase it. Join me into a reverse bridge. So you've got 2 options there. On the ground, or join me in this position if your shoulders and wrists allow you to. Really focus on this arm going up and across though. So we're focusing on T-spine flexion, rotation, extension. We got it all going here. Area of the spine that can be really sticky on a lot of us and can cause shoulder discomfort and pain. Mind you, discomfort is pain, isn't it? How do you differentiate? Is that just discomfort or is that just pain? It's both, and we don't want it. Here we go, last 4, 3, 2, 1, beautiful. All right, back to our back extensions with squeezes on the stomach. Arms extend, palms down. Arms are forming the letter V. Chin tucks in. Lift everything up. Pull the elbows into the rib cage. Extend the arms back up and lower. Keep that chin slightly tucked in. Once again, if this is giving you any discomfort in your low back, keep those legs on the ground. We're picking up the tempo a little bit on the second set, remembering that this is also our warm-up drill too. I've got 4 more to go. Are you breathing? Just thought I'd ask. And high plank. Knees or toes, you be the judge on what's going to work for you. Find that strong looking plank, neck in line with the spine. Now push the ground away, shoulder blades pull together. Good. Push the ground away, shoulder blades together. So a couple of things here to note. You're not moving the head, and you're not allowing that low back to sag. It's really just a shoulder blade pulling apart, shoulder blades coming together. It's kind of a weird move. If you've never done it before, it might take a few, but lucky you, we've got 3 rounds of these. So by the next set, you'll be a pro. Promise. And last 4. Feel the arms too. 3, yeah. 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, so you choose what bridge pattern's gonna work for you. All right, bum up or whoops, join me, hands on ground. Fingertips are pointed away from you though, okay? Ready? Here we go, everybody bridge up, reach up and across, and lower. Once again, our emphasis is reaching that arm across. Three more. Last one. And final round, all right? Back extensions with the squeeze. Here we go. Arms extend, making that letter V, and lift. 1. Chin tucks in. 2. Should be getting a little toasty now in the upper back area, shoulder region. Final 4. Feel your glutes fire up as well. 2 more. Last one. And high plank. Knees or toes. Pretend you're screwing 2 jar lids closed. Really fire up those lats. And here we go. Push the shoulder blades apart. Draw them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. And neutral spine. Okay, reverse bridge, or maybe you're doing a regular bridge. And reaching across, T-spine extension rotation, go for 12, reach it, 1. Push through the heels, drive those glutes up. Last 2. And shake out those wrists, shake out those hands for the wrists. All right, we're moving into our strength series. If you have your BOSU or a TRX, we can implement that in these movements, and then you'll also need your heavy dumbbells. Okay, I'll quickly demo the move. Here's the scoop, you guys. We have 3 rounds of 2 movements. These 2 movements are literally gonna hit every muscle in your upper body. We'll start with the posterior chain, so our back muscles, back of shoulder, as well as your biceps. Wide to narrow row. Now, if you own a TRX, you'll do a wide to narrow pull-up. For us, hip hinge, neutral spine, pull wide, and then narrow. I'm using 10s with these. Anything too heavy doesn't feel right on my back. So if you are like me as well, you might want to go a little lighter for that. Secondary exercise, you can do a bridge on the ground or use your BOSU. We have a wide to narrow chest press. So head and shoulders on the ground or on your BOSU, and wide press, and then elbows in, narrow press, okay? Let's get set up. Oh, and if you have a stability ball, that would be beautiful too. Beautiful, that would be awesome. It might be beautiful as well, but it would be a thing of poetry to see you on a stability ball. Okay, wide to narrow rows. We want that hip hinge. Okay, or maybe you're doing a pull-up in which you'll go wide with both arms on the TRX and then narrow. Yes? Awesome. Here we go. Hip hinge and go. Wide. Good job, and narrow. So as mentioned, we're working posterior chain here, lats, okay, rear delt, trapezius, so your posture muscles, and then your biceps assisting, core assisting, legs assisting. Slow and controlled. If you're with me in this position, pull your belly button in towards your spine, activate your deep transverse muscle to protect the low back. Keep going. You can also use tubing. You've seen me demo it before where it's anchored, and you would do a standing row, wide and narrow, okay, if you want to do it standing. So perhaps you have osteoporosis and you don't like and don't trust yourself to maintain neutral spine. All right, get yourself set up. Here we go. Elbows lined up with the shoulders, go, and then bring them forward a bit. Press the dumbbells straight up, they touch above the chest. Now bring the elbows right beside the rib cage and punch straight up, palms facing each other. Push through the heels, get the glutes off the ground, so we work the glutes, hamstrings, a bit of low back here as well. And as mentioned, you can use your BOSU, you can use a stability ball, or just head and shoulders on the ground. So now we've got the anterior part of our body, okay? Pecs, anterior deltoid, front of your shoulder, triceps, and then all those other muscles that helped us in the rows are assisting as well. Core, legs, hips. Take it slow and controlled. For this one, I'm using 15s time, okay? All right, round 2. So you choose your weapon, whether it's a TRX or your dumbbells. Hip hinge, go. Wide row, pulling wide, feeling that in the mid-back, and then a narrow row, feeling that a little bit more along the sides of your back into your lats. Abs engaged, neck in line with the spine, yada, yada, yada. Basically the same shit I cue every workout in hopes that you're listening. I know you're listening because I often hear comments from you guys that you talk back to me, which I love. And if you're new to the channel, you'll start talking back to me soon enough. Give me a few workouts. I'll get you vocal. Time. All right, back to the chest press. So we start with the elbows lined up with the shoulders and then bring them forward a bit, okay? Hip lift, go. Dumbbells end above the chest, arms are straight, lower down till either they hit the ground or they're just a bit lower than your shoulders if you're on a BOSU or a stability ball. So what is the advantage of being on a BOSU or a stability ball? We do get a little bit more pec involvement because we can drop the elbows just a touch lower. We don't want to go too low. All right, and we also get more glute and hip activation as well. So if you can spring it, they're great tools to have. Time. Whew. All right, final set. Here we go. Hip hinge, or maybe you're using that TRX. Make sure you got that plank happening, bums tucked in. Ready and go. Push the tailbone up to the ceiling a bit, so we've got that lower lumbar curve. Abs contracted, belly button drawn in towards the spine. Great job. And breathe. Don't worry about when, who, where, what. Just breathe with each rep. We're not lifting heavy enough where we need to focus on where our breath is in conjunction with the muscle contraction, okay? Okay, here we go. Hips up. Chest press, ready, go. We're moving on after this one. Whew, I feel my tush. Time. How you doing at home? You too? All right. I want you to have those dumbbells, those heavies, on each side of your mat. We're going to flow through a full series of movements for 40 seconds, using your heavies just for one movement, and then your moderate and light for another, and only one of each. I'm just going to change our timer real quick. You get yourself set up. We're on all fours. Okay, so if you have these suckers, they are awesome. I've got a link down below in my description on take you to my store page on my website, and all that means is I show everything that I use in all my workouts. And these are 2 little knee pads that one of my patrons told me about. So thank you, Helen. All right, so I'm using 15s, and then I'm also grabbing an 8 and a 10. Okay? If you don't have these fancy little knee pads, if Helen didn't tell you about them, then double up your mat. If it's uncomfortable for your knees, we're starting with a reverse fly, a left arm. So everyone's on the left arm. From here, we fly out, and then our secondary move, you may need to step up to the next size dumbbell, and we'll do tricep kickbacks. All right, let's get set up. Knees apart under the hips. We don't want them together. Most of us have tight hips, so open up the knees, give the hips some room to breathe. Neutral spine, left arm slightly bent, go. Lift it up and slowly lower. Now you can also take your right hand on top of a dumbbell post to push yourself up a bit more, so you can allow that dumbbell to come down right underneath your left shoulder. It's a little trick of the trade. Now when the timer goes, we're still staying with this left arm for a tricep move, and you might want to step up the dumbbell. You might be able to go a bit heavier for the kickbacks. And if you only own one pair of dumbbells, well, time. I guess that's what you're using. All right, I'm gonna try 10 pound. My elbow's up, keeping it with my shoulder, and from here, just kick the hand back and slowly lower. So that's the left arm. We've got an exercise to do in between, and then we'll do the right side. So. Should feel the back of the upper arm on this guy, and possibly behind the shoulder as well. Time. All right, grab your heavies on your back, knees bent. Dumbbells are pressing together. We're performing a piston press, so keep them pushed together while we press straight up and lower down. So we're not separating the dumbbells at all. We've got pecs involved here and triceps again. If you worked out with me before, you know I love to hit the triceps, because no woman wants that wobble when we wave. Oh my goodness, no. But it's still gonna happen regardless, even if you have amazing muscle tone, because you can't walk around with that tricep contracted all the time. So when we wave, right, it just means that our muscles are relaxed. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's all flab time. All right, so now we've got the right arm. So let's take the lighter dumbbell. I'm using my 8 pound reverse fly. I'm placing my hand, go, on the bigger dumbbell just to lift my upper body up a bit so I can freely allow that right arm to come right underneath the chest. Even if you watch athletes, if you watch them before a track and field meet or just after they've run a race, they're shaking out their legs and you'll see the leg move, 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 move. And they are not fat. They have huge muscle tone, but it's just because the muscle's relaxed. So don't worry about it. And if you do my workouts on a regular basis, you are getting your fair share of tricep strengthening movements. And then you eat a healthy diet and boom, time. You got it made. Okay, you ready? Tricep kickbacks. I'm gonna try the 10 pound with this side. Elbow lines up with the shoulder. Go, kick back. Now when the timer goes, we're immediately going back to our left arm for round 2. We have 2 rounds of these guys. So we only do the piston press twice. We're not gonna add it on after this arm. So if you're thinking as we start moving, PJ, you messed up programming again, you forgot an exercise, which is a very fair assumption on your part. I haven't. But yeah, it's quite often I forget. I lose count. I forget to turn the timer on. That one's always a barrel of fun, isn't it? Time. All right, so reverse fly. So left arm, I'm gonna pop my hand up with that bigger dumbbell. Neutral spine, abs are engaged, and lift up. You want to know what I do to myself, or used to do to myself a lot, so if you think I treated you poorly by not turning on the timer, there's been quite a few workouts where I forgot to turn my mic on. I didn't know until I got to editing and realized I had to redo the whole workout, or the battery died halfway, my head's down and I don't know when it died and where it died, so I gotta redo a bunch of video, or just forget to turn on the bloody camera. Done that too. These are life skills they never taught me in high school. How to run a YouTube channel. Time. All right, grab your heavier dumbbell or a little heavier dumbbell for tricep kickbacks. See, I needed that. I didn't need algebra. Go, kick back. Heck, I don't even really need to know much about fractions. What I need to know is how to edit a damn video, how to airdrop it from my phone, you know? Those are the life skills we need nowadays. All right. My left arm's getting pretty toasty now. I'm loving this. Hopefully you are too. Slow and controlled. Now this is where we add that piston press after this arm, okay? Time. All right, so grab those heavies. I'm using my 15s. You're on your back, knees are bent, dumbbells pressing towards each other, and press straight up and lower. Right arm reverse flies coming up. Whoo, time. That was just in the nick of time for me. All right. I'm gonna pop my left arm, my left hand up onto a heavier dumbbell. Go, lighter dumbbell. Slightly bent elbow. I'm just moving through that shoulder joint. The muscles we're trying to hit are attached up there, so we don't want to move the elbow too much. Good. George, stop it. I don't know if you can hear him. He's scratching and doing it right up against the buffet cabinet, making the whole entire room shake. Yeah, you, buddy. Time. All right, you can lower that left arm fully on the ground. Right elbow up, tricep kickbacks. Ready, and go. Almost there, you guys. We're moving on after this. Come on. Keep that form. Time. Nicely done. All right. Whew. Good job. We need the light dumbbell. 30 seconds are on the clock. I'm coordinating a shoulder movement with a core movement. So, for reference, I'm going to use an 8-pound dumbbell. And I'm gonna put all these guys out of the way. Alrighty, so side plank, shoulder lift, side lateral raise. Taking right elbow underneath the shoulder, lifting the hip up, left arm lifts up slowly and only coming to shoulder, lined up to my shoulder, so I don't want it to drop behind me. If that's not available for you, keep that bottom hip on the ground. Pardon me, don't bother lifting up into side plank. Grab a lighter weight or use body weight. All right, 2 rounds, 30 seconds on the clock. You ready? Well, what the heck you doing? Come on. Well, what were you doing while I was yapping down here? There we go. Okay, lift up and go. Left arm slowly lifts, slight bend in the elbow, that's it. And then slowly, there's the key word, lowers. Pick the hip up. For advanced people, you can go into full side plank. You might even want to stagger your stance a bit to help with your balance as the arm lifts up. Time. Woo. All right, other side. So, elbow under shoulder, that's the big cue. Save that bottom shoulder. Bottom knee bent. See how this feels before you go into the next version if you want to join me. But do a couple here, remembering that each side of your body can be quite different. So, and then if this feels okay, lift that top leg. yeah. Whew. Getting heavy now. Time. All right, one more to go, you guys. Then we move on again. So bent bottom knee or straight legs. Elbow under shoulder, go. So rear delt here, back of shoulder, yeah, big time. Are you breathing? Good, just thought I'd ask. Oh yeah. So smaller muscle group, time. That's why we're only doing 30 seconds. Smaller the muscle group, the shorter amount of time because they'll fatigue faster. Here we go, ready? Go. That's why on the first movements we did, the chest press and rows, those were big muscles as well as many littler, smaller assisting muscles. So that's why we put the timer at 50 seconds. Takes a little longer to fatigue the bigger guys. Here's the method and the whole madness of fitness programming. Time, great job. All right, we just have one set each arm of rotator cuff lifts. I'm gonna use a 5-pound dumbbell. I caution you in going any heavier than that. And in fact, some of you may just be comfortable with body weight only or maybe grabbing onto your water bottle. So here's your setup. Let's get onto the right side. Lie right down on that bottom arm. Rest the top arm, so your left arm, right on top of the rib cage. All right, you with me? Perfect. Now, keeping the elbow there, we're lifting the hand up, externally rotating through the shoulder joint. Keep the wrist still and slowly lower. So external rotation of the shoulder, 2, working into the rotator cuff, 3. Now the rotator cuff is a 4 endurance muscle, so it doesn't like heavy load. So light load, 5 and higher reps. For today, we're doing 12 because the rotator cuff just assisted in the past 12 exercises. So it's already pretty tired. Woo! Now if it starts to fatigue, just get rid of the dumbbell because mine was just burning out. Last one, and release. All right, other side. It's amazing, isn't it? Like it sounds, or it feels fine, and then you get to a certain point in your rep count and you're like, okay, arm's dead, PJ, can't do no more. Here we go, ready? Keep the elbow there and bent at 90. Now lift up, 1, 2, and see how high you can lift that arm up. If you can't lift it up very high, that doesn't necessarily mean strength, that could mean mobility in the shoulder. And we're gonna do a great stretch after we're done to help work that out. I'm giving all to you today. See, here we go, rep 8, right here for me. Oh, 9. It's like the hammer drops, 10. Try not to move the lower body to get that arm up there. There's our 12th rep, and release. Whoa. Oh, nicely done. All right, we're finishing off with some 21s for the upper body, or for the arms, I should say, and more shoulders, sorry. So we'll start standing. First 21 drill is with our biceps. So you may be able to use heavy dumbbells on this. I'm gonna try 15s for this guy. If you're unfamiliar with the 21 protocol, what that means is we'll do 3 different versions or 3 different parts of a muscle contraction. So 3 different parts of the bicep curl in 7 reps. So the first part, we'll do the first half of your contraction, and then we go all the way up to halfway for 7, and then we do the full bicep curl for 7, okay? I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the one that made this one very popular, but it's a good way to finish off the arms. So let's get ourselves set up. Abs engaged, no swinging. We're using pure biceps here, okay? So let's lift up, arms halfway. Here we go. 1, slowly lower. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, now curl all the way up to the shoulders, and now just lower halfway. This is the hard part. 1, this is part of it. 2, these 7 will be tough. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, now lower the arms all the way down, and full bicep curl, here we go. 7, 6, no swinging. 5, whoo, 15s were ambitious. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holy moly. All right, tricep extensions, 21s. Now, I like to do this one half kneeling. I find it's easier on my low back. So I'm going to be half kneeling. If you want to stand, by all means, I recommend a staggered stance if you're standing. All right, hold on to one heavy dumbbell, arms straight up. Here we go, just half of it. Ready? Drop it down halfway for 1 and straighten. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's no problem. 7. Now it's going to get tough. Lower all the way down behind the head, and now just lift up halfway. 1, 2, 3. Keep those elbows back. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now bring the arms back up again. Here we go. Full tricep extension for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. All right, we finish this off with shoulder presses. I'm going to drop down to 10s. I'm still going to stay on a knee. I'm just going to change which knee I'm on. You can do this standing again, staggered stance. Here we go. Hands here, palms facing away, just halfway. 1. So it's just little kind of presses. 2. Baby presses. 3. Aw, so cute. 4, 5. They won't be near the end. 6, 7. All right, now press all the way up and just lower halfway. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring the dumbbells all the way down. Full shoulder presses. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holy moly. All right, bravo. All right, grab a sip of water. We did it. Don't leave yet, though. I have some really yummy stretches and shoulder mobility drills I want to lead you through. Okay, the first stretch is I want to show you how you can increase the range of motion in your shoulder through the front. All right, so if you had a hard time lifting the arm up for your rotator cuff, it could be because of tight pecs and tight front shoulder. So lying on your stomach, right arm extends, lined up with your shoulder, palm down. Left hand close to the armpit. Roll yourself back onto that right arm, and you can keep the feet stacked, or you can bring that top leg and place it on the ground behind you. My back arm is lined up with my shoulder, palm is down, feeling a really great, intense, but great stretch in the front of my shoulder. Breathe into it. Two more breaths. And back to center. Left arm extends, palm down. Take a peek. You want it lined up with your shoulder. Now roll onto that left arm. And if you'd like, take that top leg, place the foot behind you, or legs stacked. I'm pressing into the ground with my other hand, with my right hand, to help roll myself back onto that left arm a bit more. Once again, feeling that stretch in the front of the shoulder, maybe even down the arm as well. Two more breaths. and roll onto the stomach. Elbows under shoulders. All right, shoulder blades pulled down. Just hold this back extension for a bit, stretching into the front of the body. If you feel pinching in your low back, slide your elbows forward so you don't have quite an extension in that spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Gaze is straight ahead or slightly up. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Hey, buddy. Oh, thanks. No, don't sniff my bum. You just did that on YouTube, George. How embarrassing. All right, press yourself back. Big toes together. Open up the knees. Hi. Yeah. Thread your right arm under. Drop your shoulder onto the ground, side of head on the ground. Hold here, getting a stretch in the upper back on that right side. If you want a bit more, you can take that left arm, wrap it around your body, and tuck it underneath, grabbing onto the right leg. And slowly release. Thread the left arm under, side of head to the ground. Palm is up on that left hand. And rotate a bit into the upper back and look up to the ceiling a bit. And if you'd like, you can take that right arm, wrap it around your back. See if you can grab onto the left thigh now. And slowly release. Stretching into the forearms now, which doesn't get stretched enough in enough videos, and I'm definitely guilty of that as well. But we use the forearm flexors and extensors so much when we hold on to dumbbells that it's important that we keep these areas stretched. So let's start with the forearm flexors. Turn your fingers so they're facing your knees. Separate the fingers as wide as you can, palms flat on your ground. Simply sit back onto your heels and you'll feel the top part of your hand start to pull off and hold. You'll feel that stretch in the bottom part of the forearm there. Just breathe. This is a great stretch to do if you keyboard, so if you had to computer a lot during your day, push away. You know what they say, every 20 minutes, push away from your desk. And here's one stretch you can do. Now we're going to pull the hands off the mat very slowly with the very tips of your fingers, the last to pull off. This is going to feel so good. You're stretching into your fingers now. Oh, hey, whoo. All right, shake out the wrists. Now I'm just going to sit back on my heels. If that's uncomfortable for your knees, sit cross-legged, or if you have a chair close by, have a seat on your chair. Take your right arm, bring it down, or bring it out, and then drop the hand down. Grab onto the hand, pull the fingertips towards you, and then turn the thumb away from the midline. So now we're stretching the forearm extensors. If you don't find you've got a lot of a stretch there, go back to center, let go of the hand, and make a fist, and now pull down and turn the thumb away, and that will intensify things. So this is a really important stretch here if you have tennis elbow or if you're prone to tennis elbow. What makes you prone to tennis elbow? Well, I find if you've had it before, it kind of reappears. I've had it a few times myself. I did a video, a short little tennis elbow workout. So if that interests you, head to the channel, take a look. But this stretch, as well as that other stretch we just finished, is in it, as well as some exercises and a range of motion drills. All right, take the other side. Again, you can have the hand open and then turn the hand away from the midline, or make a fist and then. We want the arm straight though to get that stretch. and release. Big toes together again, open up the knees, walk the hands forward, lengthening the sides of the body while you drop your hips back, forehead to your ground. Stretching into the sides of the body, into the lats, into the low back. Now if you can't get your forehead to the ground, maybe you've got a pillow close by, you can prop your ground up a bit. Take a look around. But it really does help if you have your forehead resting on something. Now drop the elbows to the ground, bring the hands into prayer position and bend at the elbows, dropping the hands behind the head. Walk the elbows forward a bit more, stretching into the triceps. And then you can let go of that prayer position if you want. Just let the hands lie flat on the shoulders. Up to you. But think about walking those shoulders or those elbows forward to get a deeper stretch into the triceps. Two more breaths. And release. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. So hey, before you take off on me, just a couple of things. First, if you haven't, hey, subscribe to the channel. It would be great to have you here. Second, if you enjoyed it, a thumbs up would be great. And drop a comment below. I would love to hear from you as well as what you thought of the workout. Now, if you haven't already joined us on Patreon, hey, we would love to see you there. It is solely due to that community that this YouTube channel can keep going. So if you do the workouts, be it on a weekly basis or maybe on a, everyday basis, we could use your support for as little as $5 a month. You can help these workouts go, and that's literally the cost of what? A latte. So we would love to see your support. All the information's down there in the description. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. And if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for my Booty Love Challenge. It kicks off on Saturday. You can head to the community page on my YouTube channel to get yourself signed up. It's free and it's going to be super duper awesome. We'll see you next workout. Bye.